Hey, what's up, peepsy de lo mío? Sit down and take a seat. Que lo que sientate. Lawrence and beyond, go vote. What's going on? On this episode, like always, your boy Majimbe. And today, we got some special guests. We got Saludarte. What's good, girls?
Yay!
Go! Yes. So, what brings you here today?
Well, Saludarte brings us here today.
Yeah.
And my name is Julie Todd, and my business is Just Julie.
Yes.
I make herbal and aromatherapy products. And Saludarte kind of started with me and my neighbor at the time on Kent Street here in Lawrence,
Yeah.
Kayla Rodriguez. Shout out to Kayla.
Shout out to Kayla.
Shout out to Gorilla Society, DS family forever.
Let's go.
And so Kayla and I were neighbors. I lived on
Yeah.
the third floor. She lived on the first floor of a triple decker on Kent Street.
Yeah.
And I had just graduated from herb school. I was studying herbal medicine, and and taken some aromatherapy classes, which are about essential oils. And I started to, make some of my own products, and people found them, enjoyable. They started asking me for more of them, so I started to make more products. I didn't have Just Julie then, a formal business.
Yeah.
And Kayla is an amazing visual artist, and she was making all kinds of just like beautiful. I mean, she does so many different kinds of art.
Yeah.
And so we were just chatting, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I should make a bunch of my herbal and aromatherapy products, and you bring a bunch of your art, and let's do it in my apartment. We'll invite our friends over. I'll make a big pot of tea, big immune support, cider, and let's just do it.
Good.
I know. Thank you so much.
Spontaneous vibes.
Yeah.
So we started this thing, and I literally one day in the shower, I'm like, we need to come up with a name for this thing we're doing. And I was literally in the shower, like, I gotta do it. Right? How can we gotta be able to say what we're doing. And then because of that, like, I'm an herbalist and I'm creating these natural products. I was like, oh, that's like salud, because I'm trying like the English, the Spanish.
Yeah, trying to how
And
to
then I was
incorporate
like,
all that.
Kayla's the art, so I was like, salud y arte, and I'm like, wait a minute, saludarte.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
I mean, like, it came over me. It's one of those things, like, something comes over and you're like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we started that 5 years ago in my apartment on Kent Street. A few other vendors joined us. Kate Rosemary did some angel card readings.
Kate Rosemary, Crescent Moon Healing.
Yes.
Let's go.
And then Anna Elzer made some repurposed jewelry. And I think it was just the four of us. And we just invited people to come. And people just showed up.
Yeah.
And it was such a great vibe, just community. People stayed, they came to shop, but they also just came to hang around. I had the tea, I had the cider. Like, it was really just a whole community vibe. And everybody was like, you have to do this again.
Yeah.
And then that next year, Elizabeth joined us to do energy healing.
Yeah.
And Day Cloud, a bunch of people who are continue to be vendors to this day. So this is our 6th year. And I've always had it in my house. It's always been a one-day event.
One day, and everything.
And everybody just piles in.
Yeah.
It's just.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's
a beautiful, beautiful energy.
Beautiful feeling.
Just really having a lot of the local folks here from Lawrence just like coming out. All the folks that just love to, embrace like natural medicine, natural healing medicine, come and get a healing session, come chill with their friends, support their local artist friends, and just have some tea, kick it. It's such a beautiful vibe. That a lot of people are just like, wow, I can't believe like this is happening here in Lawrence. Like, what the fuck? We need more of this, Sorry, I didn't mean to curse.
Hey, go ahead. All good.
But it's true. Like, we need more of this, and we've been doing it every year since, and every year it gets bigger and bigger. Last year, oh my God, like we couldn't even fit in her house. Like, I was actually grateful that I was just kind of like in the side doing my thing a little bit, but it was just
like literally
like so many people were there. It was jam packed, and I was like, we're gonna probably have to like go to something bigger, a space next year. I don't even know what we're gonna do next year. And then COVID hit.
Yeah, and I was actually with, I think, you
and
Talia, and maybe Natalie too, out in our front yard.
No, I feel like it was like
it was just the three of us.
Yeah, that we were like thinking about it. And we're like, what are we gonna do this year? Like,
what are we gonna do this year?
Yeah, that was the question for like how many weeks?
Yeah.
we have to do something.
So that's what we're here to talk about today. Virtual Saludarte.
Yeah.
Virtual
It's happening
Saludarte.
this year, 2020.
That's what's
Saludarte
up.
2020.
Right, so we still, in whatever way we can, want to still bring that community vibe, right? How do we still, in this virtual world, where we can't just be in one another's presence all the time, just bring that love, bring that support one another spiritually, financially, encourage one another's craft.
Yes.
I mean, we have the most vendors ever.
24 vendors.
24 vendors.
So it's gonna be like a giant video group chat of like 26 people, or how is it gonna?
So it's like there's a few different ways that it's going to work.
Yeah, it'll be a week this year.
Yeah, we're really going to have a whole week of events. So starting on November 1st, I don't know when you're going to put this episode out, but starting on November 1st,
we have promo week.
We have
starts.
promotional, like almost a little bit more than 3 weeks of promos of the 24 vendors.
Yes.
And as people promote themselves, they'll be telling, potential customers, all of our community, like what their products are, how they can contact them, how they can pay, how they can get the products, whether it's shipping, whether it's pickup, whether it's delivery, all these kinds of things. So for 3 weeks, there's going to be the promotion of these 24 amazing vendors.
And does it make it easier? I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have this system in place, but let's say you have 24, was it 26?
24.
24 vendors. What they're vending, would they essentially send that to one location, or they'll have their separate location to their own website that's going to pull it from, or is it one location that you guys are making responsible to hand out and make sure everything goes smoothly?
Yeah, thanks for asking that question, because that'll be something that might confuse people at first, when we do the promo, that's part of the promo to say, this is the vendor, and that vendor themselves is going to decide and define how they want to interact with their customer.
Yeah.
And so whether they have to ship it or whether they can drive it to the person because it's local, like they'll have all that information will be with every single vendor. Now, hopefully, again, this depends on COVID, we'll hope to have some pickup times still at my house, which is where Saludarte would normally be during that Saludarte season, which is going to be from November 27th to December 6th is when we're really hoping that people are going to shop and contact the vendors.
Share.
It will also
Officially
have
Saludarte week.
Saludarte week.
In which we'll have lives, we'll have demos. Elizabeth can talk a little bit more about what she'll be doing, but that there will be opportunities for those vendors who want to have an opportunity for people to come and pick up their stuff. That in the most safe way have, in a period of time, 2 to 5 on Thursday. Omayda will be there. You can pick up your earrings that you bought from her on this date, but then it'll be up to someone like Omayda to say, I can also drop them off. I can also put them in the mail. Whatever the case may be.
So basically, we're pushing forward through this COVID, no matter what. So that there's gonna empower forth.
Right.
And with that being said, the day of the event, how is it? You said the first one's gonna be November 1st, right?
No. So November 1st was when we'll start the promos.
Oh, the promos
for the vendors.
And our
technically,
commercial.
and commercial.
That's a big thing.
November 1st, our commercial comes out.
I heard you girls talking about it. So let me know about the commercials.
Yeah. Well, you want to talk about the commercial? It's really just us.
Yeah. It's just a really great way. I don't want to talk about it because I want everybody to check it out.
You said great already.
I want everybody to go on IG on November 1st, or whenever they hear this, and just look at the commercial because it's funny, it's great. It just has a really great Saludarte vibe in it.
And so all of the information you'll be able to find for Saludarte on IG at saludarte.community. You'll also be able to follow my Facebook page for Just Julie, which is the name of my Facebook page, Just Julie.
Just Julie.
There'll be a Saludarte 2020 event page. There is an event page already, and we'll start posting on that as of November 1st. So, and then, of course, all of that will provide all of the contact information for the vendors themselves to promote themselves on their own social media, whatever it may be.
And let's say there's 2 weeks before the actual event. Does a brand new vendor have the ability to just squeeze themselves in there, or everything is just locked in with the numbers that you have now?
Yeah, it's all locked in.
Unfortunately, it's all locked in. I know in the past, Julie, who's so giving and so supportive of so many local artists and entrepreneurs in our community, she always gives everybody a chance. But this year, because we're doing it virtually and we have a marketing plan already. We have a promotional plan. Like, we really want to be able to promote these entrepreneurs and these local businesses and companies as much as we can. So unfortunately, we had to, we did extend the deadline. So we did extend it, but we had to shut it down to be able to, to
Prepare
the
for it.
promotions.
And do the best we possibly can for every vendor.
Exactly, to promote them as much as we can.
And what are the qualifications? I know that, Julie, the way you were describing was, you guys are accepting of vendors, but do you have a qualification, a certain look? Like, would you accept a person coming down from corporate America trying to sell pens? Like, what you guys have a...
It really is a local vibe.
I should put the camera to shake.
It's a great question, and we had to ask ourselves that a few times with a few different people, right? So we are trying to promote local folks.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, the title of our event, Saludarte, is a good way that we can kind of filter, like, do you promote some certain kind of healing modality, some kind of healthy living, earth-friendly, or is there a particular art form, visual art, digital art, painting, jewelry making, clay, ceramics,
homemade.
Yeah, handmade, homemade, something that you're really,
earthy.
Has to do with your craft, something you're putting hands on. Now, different healing modalities may not be that hands-on at this point, but in any case. And we're glad to share with you if you want all of the names of the vendors, because I know that part of your commitment is to
do that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we can share and give you a sense of, like, who the vendors are too.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm very interested in that information. And with that information, it's a whole week of events, right? I mean, it's a whole week of you showcasing them. Did you just press separate on the names, or you looked at everybody and said these would be together at day one, these people will be better together at day two? Or was it completely random, or was it a synergy towards the selection of for the event of who you're showing?
Yes, we're still really working on the schedule, honestly.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're still getting availability from our vendors and our artists on what they want to do and when they're going to do it. Me, myself, I want to just introduce myself. I'm Elizabeth Delgado from Colectiva Wellness and Healing, and I actually collaborate with organizations, communities, and individuals to provide them with tools and practices for self-care and resiliency.
Yes.
So me specifically, I will be offering a few different things during Saludarte week. Number one, what I'll be offering will be kicking off the first day of Saludarte, which is November 27th. I'll be doing a collective healing meditation online for actually on IG Live. I'm still learning my social media acronyms, guys. I don't spend a lot of time online. But I'll be doing it on IG Live at 1 o'clock, and then the following Friday at 7 o'clock, IG Live Collective Healing Meditation, because as all of us know, we're going through really hard times right now in this country, in the world, on so many different levels. And I really feel called to provide a collective healing meditation for anyone who wants to join in and join me. Get a little healing, get ourselves a little balanced, a little grounded,
Yeah.
And then I'll also be offering distance healing sessions as well. So I'm a Reiki master teacher, but I'm also an intuitive healer as well. So I will be doing 30-minute distance Reiki healing sessions. Distance intuitive healing sessions, because my healing sessions, there are so many different things. I don't want to call them just Reiki, because I offer so many different modalities, and just whatever comes up during the session comes up. But it's a combination of Reiki healing, which is hands-on healing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was physical.
Yep. Well, as a Reiki practitioner, you learn how to do distance healing. So, energy transcends all time and space, so we are all energy. So there's no difference between you being in Dominican Republic and me being here in Lawrence, or you being in Puerto Rico and me being here, you being in Europe. I can give you distance energy healing wherever you are.
I believe that, because I mean, quick say, I mean, sorry for interrupting you,
No,
but quick
no, please.
example. I mean, I could be in a certain mood, and a certain person from the other side of the country calls me and tells me something from my childhood, opens a box of feelings that I'm just not even feeling how as bad as I was feeling before. And that's a person that's probably like 5 hours away from me, or 6. You know, so I truly believe that. I truly believe that if you could just have the right code of word, the right noises, the right vibe, you could really unlock that special healing in someone.
Absolutely. And we all have the power to heal ourselves. You know, I mean, just joining the collective healing meditation, just taking a moment to breathe for yourself, you know. There's so many different ways and powers of healing ourselves. I don't call myself a healer because I don't heal people.
Yeah.
I am a channel and create the space for you to be able to come in and do your own healing with me as a guide. So I just want to be clear with that, that I am not a healer. I am guided by my own guides and by my own ancestors. So I just want to be clear with that. My teachers.
I think that's good. Even sometimes even better, especially around these times, because I remember when I first got into meditation like 9 years ago, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just closing my eyes. This is not working. I would go online. There was music playing in the background, some trance and techno music. That didn't work. I mean, I spaced out, but it was the same thing as me jogging. You know, that was that type of space out that I got from that.
Well, hey, there's healing in jogging.
Oh, there is. I love it, man. I literally go to another universe. Jogging.
No, absolutely. You're taking care of yourself physically, and that's just a really good segue for me to just talk really briefly about another thing that I'll be offering at Saludarte, which is a decolonizing self-care workshop. This is going to be through Zoom. It's going to be happening December 6th at 1 p.m. via Zoom, and I'll have all the information so you can follow me on my IG. I think I talked about it already, but Colectiva_wellbeing. You can find me on Instagram.
And go ahead, keep going.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask something. The decolonizing platform. I don't think I have the name right. Like, is that event, or is that like an event or a teaching that you're gonna be providing, and is going to teach me how to like step backwards from colonization, or how what am I expecting from this?
Yeah, so it's a workshop. So it'll definitely be you coming in and being educated, but we'll be educating each other. But I will really be facilitating the workshop and teaching people about self-care and what self-care looks like to us right now, currently, how the mainstream media looks at, kind of shows us what it is. And also how corporate America, capitalism, has taken over self-care and what that looks like, and how inaccessible it is for people, especially people of color, to get access to self-care. So what I'll be teaching in this workshop is how can we pull back those layers of capitalism and mainstream, and how can we tap into our internal selves and do things that bring us joy, that bring us healing. Whether it's dancing bachata in your living room and shaking it out and shaking out that energy or that anxiety that you have for that day, or whether it's taking a jog, like you said, and just kind of getting in your zone, going hiking, cocinando, cooking in your house, cooking some mango for yourself, that's healing. So kind of peeling back what we think is self-care and bringing it back to ourselves and bringing it back to what brings us joy. And not having to spend, $40 on a bath or go on a vacation, and get that temporary fix of, I need to go on a vacation to get self-care. It's like, no, you have the power to do self-care every day for yourself, even if it's 5 minutes doing something that brings you joy.
So it's like a education of a lifestyle self-care that is more natural for us. And with that being said, I mean, do you guys even though you said that the vibe of it is not to give self-care that sounds too expensive in that area. That's not in the norms that we know today. But would you give advices to people as in, hey, don't buy toothpaste because it has fluoride in it?
I won't be giving advice on what you can and can't do, although sometimes I do. I always give advice. Not always, but I give advice on people, but it's not advice, it's just guidance. But I won't be giving advice on what you can do for you. So actually what we'll be doing is we'll have an assessment. We'll be learning about the origins of self-care. We'll also do a self-care assessment, so people will actually be able to get a sense of where they're lacking in their self-care, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, workplace, relationally. And so that's like the aha moment in the workshop. It's like, oh shit, I really need to take care of myself in my workplace area, or I really need to take care of myself physically. And then we'll also do some maintenance planning. So we'll do some self-care planning for you. And again, like what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what lifts you up. Not me telling you what I think is good for you. And then we'll also learn some practices along the way. So we'll do some self-care practices in the workshop. So I'll be teaching you tools and what you can do. So
right. So hopefully this will be the beauty of Saludarte, right? So in a sense, those like at Saludarte in person, like then all you could get from Elizabeth is if you signed up for one of her intuitive healing things on that day.
And you have like 24 people
right.
with their own heat, packing their own heat. Yeah.
8,
I'm
10.
always completely packed.
Right.
Saludarte. My
So
schedule
now,
is completely full.
The beauty of virtual Saludarte is that as many people who can connect digitally, who want a meditation, who want to sign up for the workshop, are going to have that access. And that in different ways. Not everybody who's a vendor will be doing it like a workshop per se, but there'll be all different ways, hopefully, that a much larger community, even than the Lawrence community or the Merrimack Valley community, can connect with each vendor.
Yes.
And whether that's pre-recorded interviews with the vendors or little demos about how they do their art. I'm not sure what you're planning to do at this point, Omayda.
Yes,
do you want to introduce yourself and say?
Yes, my name is Omayda. I'm the creator by Omayda. I do work with polymer clay. I do earrings and other stuff, keychains, tons of stuff. But like you were saying about the virtual Saludarte, I just that's the goal, for us to showcase the local artists, and just instead of just saying, let me go to a corporate, like you were saying, just meet these vendors and just give them light. If the same amount or even less money that you're going to spend in Walmart, Target, you can do it with one of our vendors. And even health.
And what you say from other people that are like could really are platforms for these vendors, would you say you girls are competitive in that in that setting? Because some people will go to the flea market to vendor their stuff, but they have a price to pay. And stuff like that. So what's the bare minimum somebody has to do? Just reach out when you're ready. When the next season of Saludarte comes out, all they have to do is just reach out and see if they're worthy, if it's interesting.
As far as
I want to
be a vendor, you mean?
Yeah, because when it comes to vending and because I asked previously the qualifications, but I'm asking I'm not sure if that if it's a if they have to climb on top of each other to get to Saludarte.
This would be decolonizing.
It was not advice.
It has nothing to do with competition or it's every person who brings their authentic art.
And Julia, are you planning to be a vendor yourself?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
What are you vending?
So my own vending in my product line, Just Julie, is all natural herbal and aromatherapy products.
Yes.
So a lot of folks who are familiar with me know that I offer all kinds of things: sprays, salves, the #1 lip balm in the world.
Let's have to have that with you.
Where's my first lip balm?
I do some herbal tinctures for immune support. I do all kinds of. On my website, people can go, and you don't have to wait till Saludarte to order things from me, and that's actually true of many of our vendors as well.
Yes.
My website is justjulie.me.
Yeah.
So you can go and see what I have to offer already. Though in Saludarte, then I'm going to be doing a few things that are a little bit different, special only for those sort of 8-9 days, the week plus that we have of Saludarte season, so to speak, which is I'll be offering discounts on bundled products.
Awesome.
And then I'll also be offering special consultations where people will create a product that is unique and custom made for individuals. So if Omayda comes to me and says, I'm dealing with a lot of stress at work, I'm really feeling like I need XYZ thing, I need some grounding.
Which I have. Many times.
Right? So then to say, all right, let me develop a custom product to meet that particular need uniquely for Omayda. So those would be some things that for me, even though you can get products from me all the time, year round, in Saludarte season, that
I'm sorry, Julie, but how do you even start to begin that? This is your issue. Now let's create this product. Do you look at that person's favorite color, their age? How does this even start?
And I'm like,
Yeah, Elizabeth knows a little bit more about how the process works. So actually, I use what's called a pendulum. Do you know what a pendulum is?
Yeah, pendulum. Yeah.
Well, no, you think of a pendulum and a clock that goes this way, but a pendulum is also something that's it's a weight on the bottom of a chain. Or
Yes, physics problem. I used
right,
to, yeah.
so you hold something, and I have a series of charts that have the names of the essential oils on them, and I connect with that person's energy after I've had a conversation with them, and then I use the pendulum, and the pendulum selects the oils.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
And so then when that blend comes together, then I spend some time looking at the oils that the pendulum selected, as well as then, obviously I smell that blend. And I get, again, using our intuitive sense of maybe a little bit what those oils are trying to say to the person. And so then I usually write an extensive little note to the person, an extensive note to the person that says, these are the oils, this is what I understand they might be saying based on what you told me. And then I give the person instructions about how to first interact with that product, which is usually a spray or an oil, and say, this is what the very first time you do this, I want you to do X, Y, and Z, and let that product actually speak to you. The plants themselves that are in the essential oils, in my worldview, can actually communicate with us and sort of meet us in a product like that, and see if that product itself has anything even to tell you that's something that's not even in my own mind. So it's a really interesting process. And with the pendulum picking the essential oils, I really feel like that gets me out of the way, because I could always have ideas like what essential oils are good for stress or what are good for grounding, and obviously I'm bringing that knowledge to the process, but the pendulum almost always select something that I never would have thought of. And then the blend, sometimes even like I'll put the blend together and I'll be like, wow. I mean, I can't even believe the product that comes out of it, the
It's
blend.
like alchemy.
It is alchemy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It is alchemy.
Intuitive alchemy.
Yeah,
That's
right.
Alchemy.
And oftentimes then I'll get the feedback from the person, just there's something about that blend, the way the plants meet the person's own chemistry that really does console them, uplift them, whatever it is that they were looking for, in a way that I never could have expected or designed with my own mind.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I just have to say, not to interrupt you, what were you going to ask? No, I just want to say that I have been a customer of Just Julie, not only because she's one of my dearest friends, but her products are amazing, handmade, homemade, and made intuitively. And I just want to say that, me talking about decolonizing self-care, another aspect that I just want to bring to, which is all about Saludarte, is decreasing your cost on these mainstream, corporate companies, and investing your self-care products in local businesses, in local women-owned businesses, investing yourself in buying those really beautiful pair of earrings from a local artist, getting some healing from a local healer, getting your lip balms or any creams or anything that you want, or a tea or a tincture or oils from Just Julie and all the other vendors that we have here. So our main goal really is to bring back, that spending back into our communities, back into our state, absolutely, especially during these times, we have to support our local businesses, our local artists, our small businesses. And this year we actually did expand a little bit, because usually we just pretty much have all Lawrence businesses, but we did expand a little bit, not on purpose, but it just happened to some some outside the Boston area, that came in. So we have a couple of other folks. I don't know exactly which location they're in, but it's just been nice to support other businesses in the Massachusetts area as well, because they're still local. Mass is still local, and so we're just really happy to be able to provide this platform to support our local businesses, support our local entrepreneurs and artists. So I just wanted to say that. Invest in your local businesses, invest in your local, self-care and, businesses and just artists. So that's really what we're here to do. And I'm just happy to be part of the community. This will be my 5th year being a vendor. And speaking of vendors, we should talk about them.
Can we just name our vendors?
Please. They need love. They need a shout out. They're going to be here. I want the listeners and viewers to be excited for this, man. Hell yeah.
All right. So we're all going to have a turn in saying who our vendors are,
Gonna
right?
split it in
a lot of
three?
these people are Lawrence-based, including
Yes.
Amarilis Lopez. The cultural worker is making digital prints off of photos that you send her. Bao Win, Letters by Tron, does her own calligraphy on letters of all kinds, stationery of all kinds.
Shout-outs.
She and her sister Eben Win are
Shout-outs.
sisters working together on some ceramic items.
Yes.
Celeste Cruz, Hecho Porcela, does paintings as well as digital art. Deyanira Claudio, Day Cloud Art. She is also a digital artist, but is recently making some unbelievably gorgeous resin earrings.
Yeah.
Emily Kearns is a Reiki well-being practitioner. Fernanda Lopez of Fernanda Lopez Art is doing all kinds of visual art for us this year. And me, of course, just Julie. I'm one of the vendors.
Yeah, awesome.
I'll take on the list from here. So again, Colectiva Wellness and Healing. I will be providing 30-minute distance healing sessions, decolonizing self-yoga workshop, and also free collective healing meditations. Also, we have Gladys Wangasi. We have Jessica Labrie from Blackbird Daughters Botanicals. We have Caitlin Jolly from Twin Rose Crafts. You know, it's nice to see this is another business where it's two sisters working together on ceramic pieces, which is really beautiful. I love seeing family working together. Kat Almonte, who's one of our local artists.
Yep, since
Kat's
year
been
2, I think.
one of our
also.
vendors, long-term vendors. Shout out to Kat Almonte. We have Kelly Polanco from Rooted Body, who's also another herbalist.
Yeah,
so
soap maker,
soap
best
maker.
soap in the Merrimack Valley.
Oh my God! And her, what's that stuff that we just got from
sea
her?
moss gel.
Her sea moss gel is
Sea moss gel.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yes, really good and healing for the body. Leah Sparks from Lujo Skin. She's a Boricua fellow skin. She makes all these skin cares, and a lot of it actually is based for acne. So she does a lot of stuff for acne. And then Larissa Villa from Love Arts is also joining us.
And then here to continue with, Lawrence artists, we have like Nakai Mendoza, who has been a vendor as well. Nicole Garcia from Kiki Arts. Nurishka Hidalgo from Crafty Trays. This is the first year as well. Talia Melendez, T Melon. She's been coming for 2 years, a couple of years.
Yes,
That's how I introduced myself to Julie.
Yeah.
Thanks to my
She's
girlfriend.
part of our core team too.
Yes.
Core planning team.
Yes, and then Sina Kelly. We have Matthew Roldan from Nateos. Maciel Abramson from Therapy and Consultant. And then me, by Omayda. That is my first year as a vendor. Second year as a customer. Honestly, I just recommend everybody and exhort to just buy, follow all the artists, share. Just you don't only have to shop, to support local artists and local entrepreneurs. You can do so much more.
Yeah, but absorbing the whole experience.
Yes,
There's a lot of how should I say, anybody with a certain intention will go in there enjoying it. Whether it's you went in there well, there's 24 people, there's got to be something I'm definitely gonna like. Or whereas I'm not lost, but I'm not feeling good. I keep hearing healing in this. Let me just look. Boom! Out of nowhere, there's they'll get directed and stuff like that.
Right.
And this is really really big. It's I don't know if I heard correctly, but that's 100% ladies, women.
No.
Almost. It was two. There was two.
Yeah.
There was two, right?
I'm glad you picked up on that.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about
Two
that
men.
myself.
2 people who identify as men.
Yes.
Yeah. And
But 80% women businesses.
right.
Go.
This past week was Equal Women Pay, so come support our women businesses,
Let's
please.
go.
Absolutely. I'm not sure if we mentioned Zena Kelly too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's another person who is just outside of the Merrimack Valley area, but a visual artist who really, again, when we looked at certain artists that were outside the area, that idea of handmade and homemade and salud, arte, there was some kind of vibration there that really fit for folks.
And the 2 people that identify as men there, they get paid less, right?
Everybody brings whatever they bring. Yeah. So, and just so folks know too that in following all of these various artists too, and of course we'll be giving all the contact information through Saludarte.community, especially. Also, shout out to Sabrina Baggio.
Yeah.
Yo, Sabrina! She put all this together, man.
Sabrina is doing all of our communications,
Oh,
yeah.
basically.
She's amazing.
If you look at Saludarte.community
Yeah,
already, the just the visuals are incredible.
Yeah,
and,
man. Progress clothing, all that stuff she's done, man. She's
keeping
done great
us
work,
on
man.
our game.
Yes. Part of our
And-
core team,
Yeah.
like Natalie.
Yes.
and-
Yeah,
and
Sabrina's
the rest-
great.
So let's
man.
give some shout outs to the rest of our core team because there's more.
There's
than
there's
bare
only
Russians.
3
There's
here.
3 of us.
Six of us.
Six.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you want to shout out?
Oh, sure.
Oh,
yes.
it's her birthday today.
Oh,
Yeah.
Natalie.
What?
Natalie Estrella.
Perez.
Happy
Yes.
birthday.
And she has her own business too. She's not going to be able to be a vendor, Senora Suerte, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's something you can also check out.
Yeah.
She is going to be offering a raffle during Saludarte season, and I think
Word.
she'll be doing some conversation or something along the lines of like, what brings you suerte? ¿Qué te trae suerte?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Something along those lines I saw on our schedule. So more to come on that. And again, follow
What she's
us on
raffling?
Saludarte.
Yeah.
You guys don't know what she's raffling yet?
One of her products.
She does all kinds of things, La Madama and candles
Mal de
and
ojo.
stationery, Mal de
Yes.
Ojo, rose. She makes her own rose petal, rose water.
Yeah, oh, I love her
So
rose
she's
water.
one of
It's
our
the
core
best.
team, and you want to introduce just more so everybody understands who our last core team
Oh
member
yes,
is.
I'm like, well, it's me. Obviously, I'm here
Right.
with you guys, and Talia Melendez, T. Mellon. She's also in the core team with all of us. And
She has to be one of my
Sabrina
favorite
Selection.
painters.
Oh
of
my
all
God.
time.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Amazing painter. Wait till you guys check out her work.
Yeah. So a lot of our vendors have agreed to offer raffle items. So that's something where you have to follow the Saludarte.community page in order to participate in those raffles. And also, it's really important to say that we have also chosen a beneficiary
Yes.
for our vendors and for our customers to support a particular organization this year.
Yeah.
And maybe you could describe our
Yeah, so
beneficiary
it's
organization.
Merrimack Valley Black and Brown Voices. I'm sure you've probably heard of
Yes,
them.
yes.
They're making a huge impact this past year with supporting entrepreneurs, businesses, vendors of color, Black and Brown businesses. So they've been having a monthly outside market all around the Merrimack Valley, and just really, I mean, you want to talk about supporting businesses, you should probably have them as a future guest on your show because they're doing really amazing things. with
I should,
supporting
because
entrepreneurs.
I should have them on, and I'm probably not even having their help. You know, and I could probably use their help.
Mhm.
You know? So hell yeah.
So yeah, they provide a platform to support. Oh my God, I went to their last 2 months markets. So many amazing vendors, businesses in Massachusetts that you don't even believe. That I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I have anything on from that day, but we spent way too much money. But again, but it made me feel good to be able to support these businesses because I know that they're working just as hard, even harder than the regular people to maintain their businesses during these times.
Right. So some of our vendors, including me, like I'll be donating a certain amount of my profits that I make during Saludarte Week to Merrimack Valley Black and Brown Voices.
Yeah.
Same.
Vendors can decide the extent to which they want to offer a percentage or just make a donation, and we'll also be encouraging just all of our customers to just make a donation to Merrimack Valley Black and Brown Voices.
Any little thing helps. We know times can be tough. Times are tough right now, but even if it's $5, anything would help them. So.
And you girls are so generous, and Saludarte is just your backing. Nobody's helping you back it. It's just you 6 girls just sitting down, going at it, spending your own bread in it, trying to lift up. No backing at all.
No, honestly, like Omayda and Talia were, I'm saying in my yard, and like, what are we gonna do? We have to have Saludarte. What are we gonna do? And I said, if we're gonna do it another way, like, let's get a team together, which is the way that things should be, right?
Yes,
And
because normally it's Julie doing everything.
Yeah.
Okay, for the last 5 years, doing everything, making her products, promoting it.
Talking with
Setting
the
up her
artists.
house, talking with the artists, doing
I feel
everything.
that.
And so we were like, we have to support our sister. We have to support our sister. We have to make something like that happen because not only for us and for Julie, but it's for the community, So we have to keep it going. And I also just want to say that Julie is Very, very, you said we're kind. She is a very kind soul because we don't charge a vendor fee for this event because she's all about social justice and supporting Black and brown businesses herself. So I thought, I mean, we were like, girl, you gotta charge this here. But we're like, no, she's like, no, like we don't, because we want to support the businesses. We don't want to give them an extra fee or an extra hurdle, you know, so that's why we give them the option to, you know, donate raffle prizes or donate to our beneficiary to help another organization that's doing the same thing. Keep it going, you know. So it's kind of like a full circle, which I love that our beneficiary was Merrimack Valley Black and Brown Voices this year, because again, it's like that full circle of us supporting local businesses and us supporting another organization that's supporting other businesses. So it's a beautiful circle to continue supporting each other.
So like in 5 years from now, how do you guys see the whole system working?
Oh, I love that question. Damn,
I mean, the possibilities are endless, right? The possibilities are truly endless.
Or each one of you
Especially
could
virtually.
say a fantasy of what it might look like to you in 5 years individually or collectively. I don't know.
I like the collective
I
question.
mean, since the first, last year's my first time in Saludarte, I always felt that community vibe, and I just feel like in 5 years, Julie will have that feeling, let's say from somebody in California, that feels right at home with us. Like our community, even if you're like, 5,000 miles away or something. That's what Julie is all about, community and just making you feel at home.
Especially with COVID might be gone in 5 years, so it could be a physical and a virtual thing, like a caravan. You just don't know where the hell it is.
Oh my
it's
God,
fine, you know what I mean?
mobile.
Yeah.
I also kind of see it. So we've had some talks before in the past about expanding it to like maybe the summertime, doing like a summer Saludarte, which I would actually like to see that happen, because once a year, like, it's just not enough.
To wait, like
the
165.
Yeah, it's like the vibe that gets created in Saludarte is just so beautiful. It's like we want to have more of that, and also again, and then another opportunity to support each other in the businesses. So that's kind of one of my hopes, is maybe we can do a summer Saludarte too.
Yeah, we've talked about it all, really. We had we could
yeah.
do spring into Saludarte. So I
Fall
think
into Saludarte.
Call this the 4 seasons, like every single theme,
I think that that as much, and we're finding this all out through COVID and the coronavirus kind of lockdown time. Like there are always ways that we can recreate, right?
Yes.
That life is really change, and our ability to survive and thrive is about our ability to adapt.
Yes.
But also to adapt collectively. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
So if I were to be like, how am I going to do this all by myself? Like, probably we wouldn't be doing this, right?
Yeah.
So, 5 years from now, again, the possibilities are endless. But I think that we always want to be, as far as possible, supporting local vendors, right? So we're not really trying to go the corporate route. We're not trying to go the brand route. We always want to center businesses, center creators, center artists who don't have their own platforms all the time, right? There are different vendors among us, have our own different websites and platforms, but I would venture to say the majority do not.
Yeah, and they don't have to.
They don't have to.
We give you that option, like if you to be a vendor this year, to send us a headshot, send us your logo. If you have a website. A lot of our vendors don't have that, and you don't have to have that. Like, you don't have to have all your shit together to be able to come and present and sell your services inside Saludarte. Like, that's what we want to do, is to be able to support you, even if you're in your foundational state of building your business, and still have that what you need to sell. So, just want people to be clear on that you don't have to have all those things. We all know that you got to start somewhere.
Exactly. And I bet even somebody that doesn't have everything together, bringing it to you, will realize, I wasn't thinking about these other things that I might need. Give me a second. Then they'll go back, bring that. There's a whole learning process.
There is a learning
Absolutely.
process.
And sometimes it lights that fire, like, ooh, it
These
did
are
for
people
me.
that-
I'm like,
yeah.
I gotta get on Instagram. I'm like, shit, I gotta get on Instagram. I'm like, I gotta, because I'm not on social media right now. Like, people find me by word of mouth. So, and like, they just refer me, and that's how my business works. So I'm like, I gotta get an Instagram, which I did. So I'm happy about that. And also, just getting all my dates and for my scheduling page too, so people can just like one click, making it easy. How can they access me and book their appointments without having to do it? So more to come on that. But anyways, making it accessible for people.
And I know this. I'll hate for you girls to talk for the other 3 for them, but if Saludarte had $1 million to donate to any cause in the world, what would it be?
God. I'm gonna let you.
Doom.
I don't know. I feel like I mean, my inclination would be to like split it up among just like the people who I love and know the most, you know, and just I mean, and I would focus on Lawrence. One of the organizations that always comes to mind for me is Elevated Thought. Right?
Yes.
Shout out to Elevated Thought. Let's go.
So, I mean, yeah, again, the sky could be the limit on those kinds of like, we had $1 million kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, then I could see us, you know, employing Sabrina Baggio full time. To develop a website for the Saludarte.world.
She's good at websites. She is good at websites.
Actual space, you know, like let's think 5 years from now, COVID won't be here. Just putting it out there. We can maybe have a space where it's like a weekly, you know, weekend thing, kind of like the mill space in Lowell, where you know we're constantly kind of, you know, have that space
like a forum.
Not a forum, but just a space where people can come kind of do markets, like weekend markets.
Okay.
Weekend markets, yes. Yes. A space to have weekend markets.
The court back in the.
Write that down somewhere.
I know. I'm throwing it out there.
Weekend markets. Right. That's. I could see that working out. And ladies, girls. I'm sorry that I say those words. I don't know.
Women.
Goddesses, women. The birth of all of us, you know. Do you have any shout outs? Would you like to release any shout outs? You guys shout out all your vendors.
Right.
Our core team.
A core team.
I mean,
girls covered a lot of bases.
Shout out to you, Julie. Honestly,
Seriously,
I feel like
girl?
every single person have to meet Julie Todd. She is amazing.
So amazing that she could, you know, just bring your dead dirt back to life with certain techniques. You know, Julie, tell me about that. You know what I'm saying?
Tell you about what?
I went to your page and, you know, I saw, it wasn't just you. I saw some familiar faces. They looked like everybody was learning. It was to the floor. They were trying to, I saw rice. I'm like, does it look cooked? It's semi-cooked. Then I see vegetation. I'm like, wait, that rice isn't. I'm like, okay. Then I see mold. I'm like, okay. I see there's like an ecosystem type of thing going on here.
So you're trying to like, discern what's happening on my Instagram stories.
I apologize. Yes.
That's right. Well, you know, I mean, it's a great question. I'm trying to feel like how I can connect it to both Just Julie and Saludarte, but the whole thing still really is about how do we sustain and build just communities.
Yes.
Right. And so when you saw people in my backyard, they were like kneeling down with fire starters.
Oh,
yeah, they were the flint. I remember.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking about developing survival backpacks in case we, as a community, face any kind of catastrophic situation, like we did with the gas explosions. Right? We're living in the kind of political, cultural times right now, like we literally don't know what's going to happen.
We depend on so much on the bigwigs that...
Right? So how is it that we can figure out how to create and survive, and not only survive, but sustain and thrive as communities as, you know, these systems that we know of government, education, healthcare are falling down all around us. So you saw a survival backpack workshop in my backyard.
Yeah, that's so cool.
With a small group of folks who are interested in these kinds of questions, right? Now the rice that I have in a paper box in the forest that's growing mold, that surprisingly enough. All right, so I'm an herbalist. I'm kind of a hippie. I'm you know, like I got that vibe. So I'm trying to figure out ways to grow my own food and to work in community to figure out how we can all grow our own food. Because there's another thing. If the systems start falling down all around us, how are we going to eat? Like, literally, those are the kinds of the questions that we have.
So whoever takes over that common park for the soil.
Yeah.
But here's the
thing about the soil situation. So we don't know this necessarily, but all of our soil in New England, throughout the entire United States in many ways, and throughout many industrialized countries throughout the world, the soil is so degraded that it can't really support the growth of nutritious food. Not at length, especially. Yeah. So truly, if we want to be able to feed and sustain ourselves as a community, we need to figure out how we can bring health to the soil. Now, you can go to any number of big box stores and buy yourself a bag of soil. Yeah. That's not actually that sustainable over time. we have to figure out how to bring nutrients and microbes to the soil that we have and to build that soil from the bottom up and not just go to a store and buy. I mean, trust me, I go to the store and buy a bag and all that kind of stuff too. But working to teach ourselves, and this is not just me, but it's a small group of people, most of whom were at the Survival Backpack Workshop. Another shout out to How to Survive the End of the World book group, where we're reading The Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler, which is about kind of how to survive the end of the world, a fiction story. So back to the box of moldy rice in the woods is that literally gathering that moldy rice and mixing it with sugar will, and you can just literally put it in a jar, and when it comes around to the springtime, it has its own, because it's moldy, it's actually microbes that I can use and other people can use to start to build the health of the soil.
So that's the natural fertilizer you just build. You just put a little bit on certain sections of the oil and start bringing it up to life.
That's just one of any number of natural gardening techniques that I'm just starting to learn this myself, again, with a number of people in the Lawrence community who are also so committed. And so like the box of rice in the woods is just one thing. And, I follow another shout out, I guess, Instagrammer Marco_is_growing, who I have learned all of these techniques from. And again, it's about how do we build sustainable and just communities, and how do we do that collectively? So it's not just me like, how do I grow food in my yard? I mean, I want to grow food in my yard. But how can we learn these very simple things? Like it's so much like putting a box of rice in the forest to get mold is pretty cheap, actually.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, it generates a lot of interest, just like you. Like,
what
the hell is going on here?
I was kind of jealous I wasn't there. I like stuff like that.
Well, when the podcast is over, if you want to come with me, I got to go get the box out of the woods in the snow now.
All right. Oh my God, that's a different imagery. There was no snow when I saw the video. Everybody was having a grand old time.
I'm sure it's melted at this point.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know how far we're getting off track, but like the whole idea for me, and that's like the dream of my own business, Just Julie, right, is how we I say there's no individual healing without community healing, right? So, and for me as an herbalist and aromatherapist, like the plants are part of the community.
Yeah. And
so we can literally have a relationship with these plants, and the more we have a relationship with them from seeing them grow, and not just in herbal medicine, but really getting to know the plant as it grows in front of us.
You care more. You care more.
And the thing is that you have a literal relationship with that plant now. You care about it. You care about the soil that it grows in, because it is giving you its life so that you can eat, right? Or so that you can have a cup of tea, right? So, I mean, when I talk, like, that's the level at which, like, to me, community is the center of Saludarte, of Just Julie, Collectiva, wellness and healing, right? The word
I feel like
is in
if like Saludarte had like a slogan or something that would point somebody's face, I'll be like, Saludarte, bring in what was that? Oh my God, I can't believe I lost this word. It's basically bringing sustainability back to you. I'm saying that your Saludarte is bringing sustainability to every single person and teaching that with the decolonization. These words are so big for me. With that all being basically bringing the individual sustainability within us, and how we all can do that together, and how we are depending on so many things that we got to start a little backward, become more sustainable, get our foods, start doing the other actions. Yeah, all these advertisements, all these black mirrors all around us are telling us what to get, but there's the actual human feeling, we just think these metal robotic things aren't even organic, and so yeah, I'm sorry I got off track.
No.
But it's really good, and ladies, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to cut it short. There's anything else you girls want to get in there?
No, I think that's a good point.
Yeah. Just follow us. Follow us on saludarte.community on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook, and follow justjulie.me, and that'll actually get you right to our social media.
So, awesome. On L Views. Thanks for
you.
coming.
Of
Is that
course,
good?
thank
You
you
guys
for
didn't miss anything?
inviting
That's
us.
good.
Great.
Cool, cool.
I don't even know what we talked about now.
Yeah, that's